What we been playing I am going trio. Welcome everybody to the Streakers Island podcast. It is I, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst. I figure I'll get rid of the rest of me. I just wanted to freak Lane out there for a second. I saw him.
Well, I was going to say, you didn't like my singing of a Streakers Island podcast?
Hello.
Look what the cat dragged in.
Just on time.
He's actually late, but better late than never. Dan, you missed it. There were three of me to start the show.
Oh, not that again.
Yeah, that again.
Finger.
So, of course, we're joined by Lane Dashko.
That's me.
And Mr. Moore for your money.
Woo!
Money.
So, boys, we got a big game here for, I would say this is a big game, for both teams. You got the Riders who can actually take first place in the West. You have the Elks going with the one, the only Cody Fajardo in at starting QB today. So this is the game which really going to come down to, which team can score more points than the other team. But, do you think Cody Fajardo is going to kickstart this offense, or do you think this is just kind of hoping for the best?
I think it's hoping for the best, to be honest. It just seems like, let's be honest, this team has not really gotten going, and this team wanted to make some strides this year, and they showed some strides coming into the year, but just doesn't seem like they really get it going. The defense seems like a mess. The offense seems like a mess. Everything seems like a mess. They need to clean up their mess, but it's going to be hard tonight against a tough team in the Saskatchewan Roughriders here, who, let's be honest, as long as Trevor Harris doesn't have any bad weather to complain about, he's probably going to play pretty good, and I suspect that Trevor Harris will have probably over a 300 passing yard game, and Saskatchewan's offense is going to be running because Edmonton doesn't really get a lot of turnover. So it's going to come down to, can they stay off the field, and can Cody Fajardo drive down the field long enough to keep this defense off the field as long as humanly possible.
And I do agree with you there, Lane. I think that I've been really looking into this more and more, because I've been trying to ask myself, is Cody Fajardo the solution? I mean, you had to try something. So I agree with this decision at this point in the season. There's a lot of heated arguments, actually. A lot of people feel Trey Ford should be starting tonight. But you're 1-4, and your offense has been so-so. Mind you, I still think the bigger problem is the defense on this Edmonton team. Because that's where they put all the money, right? They put all the money in the defense, and this defense has been deal double dog poop. They can't seem to create turnovers. They're not getting sacks. They're letting teams have sustained drives. They have a tough task tonight.
It's not just the fact that the record's 1-5. It's the fact of how they got there. I mean, Trey Ford only had 4 complete passes and under 50 yards. You cannot expect to keep your job as a starting quarterback in Canadian Football League and deliver a performance like that. I mean, if you have one quarter like that, okay. But the whole game? No.
Well, I mean, and here's kind of a tough thing. Some people are going on that Trey Ford should be starting. His efficiency rating is only 2 points higher than Nick Arbuckle, so everyone's saying is clearly a backup. And if you look at it, and I'm not saying that I think Nick Arbuckle should be a starting quarterback moving forward. As soon as Chad Kelly's ready to go, Toronto's going to want him in. But I'm just making the comparison to maybe if Edmonton just, if their offense could just get a little more going, because Trey Ford's completion percentage too is only 67.8%. And with Trey, you always felt he would use his legs, but he was an accurate passer with the short to medium route plays. And it just hasn't worked. Then you go to Saskatchewan of Trevor Harris, who is the most efficient quarterback in the CFL at the moment. If his out of all the starters anyways, if his rating at 118 with 76% completion percentage, 1,626 yards, 9 touchdowns to 4 TDs. This is a tall task for Edmonton. I think they need this win. I think they got to find a way to get it in Regina, which is not going to be easy. And yes, I said Regina to you dirty-minded people.
And I was right. It is Cody Fajardo's first start in Saskatchewan.
Yes, Dan, you're a genius. You're a genius with a weenus. And I said weenus. Lane. But
just making sure.
But you know what? This is I just think for Edmonton, though, maybe the defense will do a little bit better if the offense stays on the field a little bit longer. Because Trey Ford has had a lot of 2-and-outs, I feel like. I don't have that statistic in front of me, but I do feel like Edmonton has not put together sustained drives.
I'm not saying it's all Trey Ford's fault. I'm not sitting here.
No, it's not
saying that. But at the same time, your quarterback's the leader of your franchise, and you got to do better than what he did. I think Edmonton needs to use their running game more. I think Edmonton's defense got to get better. I think Edmonton's coaching has to get better. I'm surprised there hasn't been a coaching decision move made yet. But I'm not saying it's all Trey Ford's fault, but it's kind of like a pitcher in baseball or goalie in hockey. Why you got to point the finger at someone, and they're kind of your leaders and your studs, and that's what's happening right now.
Well, like I've been saying here on the island for like almost 2 shows now, I feel like a broken record. So, but I'm going to say it again. I just think this is a good night for Cody Fajardo to go into the lineup
100%.
and scout out the issues. Maybe I've been saying it on the pre-show, I said it on the post-game last night in the comment, and I'm saying it here tonight again. I feel like this team needs someone to come in, see what's going on, see kind of where the mistakes are being, find out where the holes are, find out, where the game plan is, and then maybe go back to Trey Ford and say, here's the game plan that you can use to be successful. And I do think Cody Fajardo, even though he wants to be a starter, I do think he likes mentoring Trey Ford here. I do believe that he's kind of doing this as a favor to him to be like, bro, like you're missing routes, like, but I want to see, but he can't help him if he doesn't see the issues himself. If he's only going in for 1 or 2 plays, he doesn't really know how to coach Trey Ford on where to fix his issues. But now he's going to get a whole game to be like, okay, so here's where our holes are. Here's where we're making mistakes. And then go to Trey Ford and be like, hey, this is what you're not doing, and this is what I saw.
Now, mind you, though, could you see them using Trey Ford sporadically the way they're using Cody Fajardo in one of their games recently?
Maybe
I could see
tonight.
Trey Ford still having a package tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But I think, too, when Dan brings up the running attack in Edmonton, like Justin Rankin, he's not being used enough. Only 41 carries, 5.8 yards per carry. So, and he's got a long carry of 74. So if you look, he is actually in second for yards per carry from running backs who have at least 30 carries. The only one who is doing better than him is Dan Onababoye in Ottawa with 35 carries, averaging 7.2 yards per carry. No idea why he's not being used either. But maybe you do need to just start to get this running game going a little bit. And Edmonton does love the RPO, and I'm wondering, is Trey Ford just pulling it too many times and trying to pass it? And will Cody Fajardo make better reads on those RPOs? Those RPOs are critical, I think, for this Edmonton offense. Because remember, Cody Fajardo is not like a Trevor Harris or a McLeod Bethel-Thompson, who had some interesting comments after last night's win, who are pocket passers and don't like to leave the pocket. Like, Cody Fajardo will use his legs, and honestly, he'll use them quite effectively. But my question for you guys is, Cody Fajardo expects to be booed tonight. Do you think he's going to be booed?
He might be. I could see it.
Why? He left. He didn't want to leave.
I don't think he should be, because I think I wasn't sold on him when he was a Rough Rider, to be honest. But he wanted to stay. He didn't request to be traded. He was traded.
True.
And then you see him in Montreal, where he not just won the Grey Cup, he dominated the Grey Cup, and he won Most Valuable Player, and he dominated that whole season in Montreal. And it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't Cody Fajardo wasn't the problem. And I've seen a lot of maturity of Cody Fajardo the past few years. It's like Lane said, he's more of a mentor now with Trey Ford. I think he's more of a mentor in general to other players in the league. And I think he's a really good guy. And I really don't think he should have been booed, because he did not actually be traded. Now, the big conversation is when Mitch Marner returns to Toronto on Vegas, I hope he gets booed pretty good.
I don't care. But what I'm more curious about here is I do want to quickly bring up these Macbeth comments, because I already did get a text message on the StreakersIsland.net phone number. Yes, our phone number is a website. And saying, what do you think MBT meant on his comment? So here's the comments. There's so many things I can do better right there at the end. I could read to the boundary there, missed a comeback there early in the game. Pitt can't do that. You've got to stay true to your colors. TSN Pano, don't say anything good about me.
Oh.
Now, if you know, too, Enoch Muamba has kind of been calling McLeod Bethel-Thompson out, who were teammates back in Toronto, and his quote was here, listen, you're a Grey Cup winning quarterback. You've got high expectations going in every game, and you pulled it off tonight. Right? So, but it's just interesting. I thought it was a little odd him taking shots at the TSN panel. I don't know if it's just saying there's more to come, but I don't know what you guys think. I know, Lane, you're not a big Macbeth fan, and maybe you are when it comes to Shakespeare, but not at least the quarterback. And Dan, I know you love him. Like, Dan wants to take him out to dinner and buy him some donuts. So
well, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I just saw the issues there in Edmonton last year, right? And when Trey Ford came in, it just felt like a different team. And I just feel like he's kind of like an Arbuckle in my opinion, where he's a really good backup, but I wouldn't want him starting being a starting quarterback. I think he can do it, but I don't know if I want a whole year of it.
Now you got to remember he has won 2 Grey Cups under his belt. One as a backup, one as a starter. Now the only thing is the one as a starter will always have a little bit of a weird cloud over it, because when Chad Kelly came in that game, they were actually down 10 points. So it's not like Macbeth took over that game. So, but I don't know. I personally think Montreal, if they game plan properly, which I felt they did against Calgary this week, I think MBT can keep this team at least a 500 record while Davis Alexander's out.
I'm really surprised that he said those comments, because they did win.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was a close game. Every day you won, and you won against a very good Calgary team in Calgary. But Bethel-Thompson's a very unique human being. He's very, I don't know, controversial is the right word, because he doesn't bring drama, but he's very vocal, I will say. He's always been very vocal in front of the camera against his team, against TSN and all of that for the league. I give him credit for being so vocal and not being afraid to say what he wants to say. You know, watch a lot of athletes talk in the interviews and give the same, well, obviously answer kind of thing, you know. But Bethel-Thompson's not afraid to speak his mind, and he gets out there. I think it's good for the league. There's a star player like that does that. And as far as someone being ahead, I think he's a great head quarterback. I mean, yeah, Chad Kelly had come in and finish the job because of an injury. He wasn't pulled because he was bad. And he did get the Argos to the Grey Cup. I mean, that season he dominated. And even seasons before that, he had a couple really good seasons in the double blue there. Even in Edmonton, unfortunately, he couldn't win the game. But if you look at all his stats besides his record, his stats were phenomenal. He was the best quarterback in the XFL when he played there for a year. I think Montreal is in really good hands with him leading that group. I just think of that comment. I think he knew he still has better games in him. And some people might write him off saying, oh, well, he's getting older now. Oh, well, he's a backup. Give him a break. And he's like, no, I don't want a break, because I know I can still be a franchise quarterback. And I think that's what that comment was at. And maybe it was a little bit of, with the comment at the TSN panel, I don't see that as drama. I see it as a joke, because, like Jacob pointed out, Muamba was a key teammate to Bethel-Thompson in that Grey Cup win. And not just a teammate, Muamba was a real veteran leader. Like, you had Bethel-Thompson was the veteran leader of the offense that year, and Muamba was a veteran leader of the defense that year, kind of like what Whitson McManus is now. So I think because of that, they know each other very well, and we probably get along well. So I think that's more of a joke than a shot.
Fair. I mean, I can see your point, Dan. I do still think it was odd still. And I mean, McLeod Bethel-Thompson has been known to make some very odd comments to the media.
But that's what he does.
I mean, yeah, I know, but it's still weird, Dan.
You got to back it up, though. And let's be honest, he hasn't really backed it up the last years. If you're going to make comments, you got to back them up, right?
Whoa.
Whoa, exactly. But thank you very much for the question over on the over in the Streakers email. But going back into this game now, you know, Cody Fajardo is expecting to be booed, and he's prepared for negative fan reaction. And I think he has to be prepared that he's just got to try to not focus on this is the Riders, this is the team that kicked me to the side, the team that said I was no good, and just go out there and play good football, because Cody Fajardo is a good quarterback. Like, I've had some people say to me, well, Cody Fajardo is just not that good. And I'm like, I got to disagree with you 100%. Like, Cody Fajardo has been a solid quarterback in the Canadian Football League for the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 years.
You could argue if he was the starter this year, Edmonton could have a different record.
Oh, I think we would have 100%.
Like, even if we look last year, Cody Fajardo went 3,105 yards, 16 touchdowns to 7 interceptions in 14 games. The year before in Montreal, 18 games, 3,847 yards, 14 touchdowns to 12 picks. Saskatchewan, 17 games, 3,336 yards, 16 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. He has never had a year in his career where he has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. Plus, he's a guy that can run the ball, right? And he is giving you that flexibility. Last year in Montreal, we did rush for 277 yards and 3 touchdowns. Year before, 341 and 3 touchdowns.
He's pretty buzzed.
So, no, he can't do it to the extent that Trey Ford can do it, but he can certainly do it.
He's not like Bethel Thompson or Bo Levi Mitchell. You just got to keep him in the pocket.
Exactly. So I will be very curious to see. And Cody Fajardo in his last game where he came in for a series did go 5 for 7, 78 yards and a TD. Game before that, when he played a little bit, he went 4 for 4, 29 yards. So
yeah, he's played
this
well
is one of the more
so far.
I will say I'm expecting to not see a lot of turnovers in this game because these are two of the most accurate quarterbacks in football right now. Trevor Harris is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in CFO history, and Cody Fajardo is only behind him by about 0.5%.
I think when it comes to turnovers, you're not going to see picks, but you may see fumbles and you may see turnovers on downs and that kind of thing.
That is possible. We will see how aggressive. I think Edmonton's got to be aggressive to beat Saskatchewan. I don't think I think if it's 3rd and short at midfield, you're going for it. You're not punting kind of thing. I don't think you can play average football against the Riders as the Elks and win.
No.
Yeah.
And I think this Elks defense this week, this has got to be the week that they really, really step up.
Because like I said, Trevor Harris is going to ball out, right? At the end of the day, he's a good quarterback. He's like a Bo Levi Mitchell, right? At the end of the day, he's going to throw big bombs. He's going to throw down the field. He's going to make big plays. So you're going to have to stop him tonight. And I don't know if they can. They haven't really been able to stop anyone yet.
Well, no, and this Edmonton defense is ranking dead last in so many categories. It's not even funny. Least amount of turnovers created, least amount of sacks, least amount of 2-and-outs. They're allowing the most yards in the league. Like, they're just not good. And that is why I do sort of don't. That's the only thing I would say I think I don't like about switching quarterbacks. So I think you have to do it. It's kind of like when you pull the goalie in hockey when your entire team sucks. It's like, well, now you're just. And Mark Kilm did say in interviews, look, it's not just Trey. It's like this whole team needs to play better. And Dan, you mentioned coaching. You're going to give Mark Killam, I would say, at least 2 years with this group.
I don't. I get he's a rookie coach, but
man, I don't ever want to work for Dan. Probably one day on a job, he'd be like, "You're fired." That's it.
Okay. Let's say they won 6 games. I'll be like, okay, do what? I'll give him a second chance. But at this point, for 1-5, if they end the year, let's say with 3 wins, 4 wins, he's done, bro. I mean, you got the new ownership in Edmonton. You got that GM with the controversial comment. I would get rid of him too, actually.
Yeah, actually, I think the GM's more of a problem than the coach.
Right, but if you get a new GM, he's going to want his own coaching staff. And and the thing is, it's like, you give Trey Ford a lot of money in 3-year contract. You debatably only burned the first year of that contract. So you got 2 more years to become a playoff winning team here.
Yeah.
So the timeline is short. So if they don't win, I would say minimum 6 games, he's gone. And at this point, you're about 3rd way through the season, only won 1. And
So
not going to
you're
get easier.
So you're saying you're giving Mark Killam this season to turn it, but if you can't turn it around, you got to bring in a new coach.
100%, because this team has been, not trying to boil salt in the wounds, but this team has been bad for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They have drafted some really great young talent. They have spent some big money in the free agency, so putting in Grey Cup veteran championships, defense people. It's got to be done now. You have the biggest stadium in the CFL. You got potential to make huge money on ticket sales, and you're not getting it done because you don't have the product to put on the field.
Well, I mean, and Dan, when you mentioned the Elks' recent records, let's kind of go over that. Last year they went 7-11. The year before that, 4-14.
7-11, wow.
The year before that, 4-14, and the year before that, 3-11. So, and I think that's the big thing too. They went 7-11 last year. So if they degress this year, that's a problem. And I actually blame I blame the GM so far more than I really blame the coaching, because I don't think he's given him enough offensive weapons to really build around Trey. Now, if all of a sudden Cody Fajardo goes out there and this offense is rolling against one of the best defenses in the league, then you'll be like, okay, is it the quarterback play or is it the? I hate saying lack of talent, because like these guys are professional players, they're talented. But like when you decided to let walk Eugene Lewis and Dylan Mitchell, which by the way, no idea why Winnipeg's not using Dylan Mitchell at all. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get that one either.
But you let your two best receivers walk. That's tough, and I don't really feel they really replaced them. Like, yeah, they brought back Stephen Dunbar Jr., who's a good receiver, but he's nowhere near Eugene Lewis.
No, not at all.
Like, it's kind of like you see when other teams have lost guys, they brought in guys that are like, okay. Like, you could even say when the Argos lost Jake Ceresna, they brought in Chatfield Jr. And it's kind of like, you know what, Chatfield Jr. is putting up the same, very comparable numbers this year to what Jake Ceresna did last year. So that role was replaced. You look at Calgary, they brought in Dominic Rhymes, so it's not just relying the whole season on Reggie Begelton, who got injured early in this year. Now VA could be out long term. We don't know yet. Oh my gosh, Calgary could be in some trouble. But this does raise the question here. Saskatchewan is definitely the favorite going into tonight's matchup. I mean, they have the better record, they have the better offense, they have the better defense. Special teams, I think, were kick returners. I'd give the edge to Alford a little bit over Leak, although Leak is explosive. Who do you guys take in this one? Are you taking the Riders or are you taking the Elks?
I'm fortunately taking Saskatchewan. I just think they're the better team. I think this is going to be an easy night for Trevor Harris. I don't think, we've seen these quarterbacks like Bo Levi Mitchell, Trevor Harris. When they have an easy night, sometimes it's like easy for them, right? And I feel like this is one of those easy nights for a guy like Trevor Harris, who's been playing pretty good football, making some deep throws, putting up explosive numbers every single game, except for that one game that we had to complain about it. But other than that, he's been probably in the top conversation as one of the top 3 QBs all season. He's explosive. He's making big throws. I don't think Edmonton's going to be able to contain him tonight.
Well, Mr. Morforth sent me a rivalry earlier in the day as he's taking the Riders and he wanted me to pick the Elks. I was going to pick the Elks either way. So, Dan, I've accepted your rivalry on the Streakers app.
Nice.
And I'm still saying the Elks are going to win this game. They have to start winning eventually. It's like, I always said Calgary has to lose eventually. And I mean, I hate the way they lost last night. That was a heartbreak with the quarterback injury. And the PJ Walker just did not look comfortable out there the entire game when he was in the fourth. But Edmonton has to win another game at some point. They're not going to go 1-17.
No.
Right? Like they have to get another win. So
I didn't realize they won 7 games last year.
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
Okay, so I'm going to make it more challenging. They got to get 8 wins this year. If the coach doesn't get 8 wins, he's done.
I'll be honest. I don't think the Elks will be happy if not making the playoffs. All the money they put.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you gotta be at least competitive. There's 18 games in the year. Easy point out, Jacob. The odd time a team can't get any playoffs under 500. They got 7 last year. They gotta be better. I say he doesn't get 8 wins, he's done. And let's be honest, getting 7 wins with the let's say schedule left, kind of tricky.
So does that mean, are you still sticking with your rivalry prediction? Are you still taking the Riders, or do you think
100% taking the Riders. Yeah, I mean, I was going to switch because I think Cody Fajardo is going. Yeah, the Moose, eh? I do think Cody Fajardo's got a really good game tonight.
Moose!
But at the end of the day, this game will prove if it's all Trey Ford's fault why we're losing, or if it's the whole team. And I don't think it's all Trey Ford's fault. I think the defense has been playing bad. I think the running game has to do more. So this game tonight with the quarterback change is going to prove that.
Time will tell. I still honestly think Edmonton's going to get this done. I think Cody Fajardo is going to be a very motivated guy in this game. So now I want to ask you guys then, are we thinking close game? Are we thinking the Riders blow the doors off the Elks?
I could see it being close.
So Lane, give me a spread. 5, 6, 7.
I'm going to even say I could see it being a 2-point game. I could see it being just one of those games where it comes down to one or two plays, maybe a rouge.
Yeah.
No, but
Rouge.
I don't know. I could see this being a close game. I could see this just coming down to one key stop, maybe one field goal, one of those kind of games.
What are you thinking more for?
I don't think it's going to be quite as close as a root. Like I said, I don't think it's all Trey Ford's fault, right? So I think tonight is going to point out, I think the offense will play better, but I think tonight is going to point out the holes in the defense. So I think the game's going to be somewhat close, but not as close as 1 point. I could see maybe a 10-point difference.
I'm saying Elks by 7.
Oh.
Elks.
Riders by 10 for me.
Lane's saying Riders by 2. I'm saying Elks by 7.
Dude, that's an odd score, Mr. Daskell.
You're an odd
that.
score.
You're an odd score.
But we're getting right close to kickoff, so I think it's time we sign off. But thank you very much.
Before we go, 96 wins because it looks like the Jays are going to win, reigning in Detroit with all the tears from the Tigers fans.
Yeah, boy.
It's one of the. They just hit one of our guys. Oh boy, but yeah,
and
96
actually,
wins, baby.
Just quickly, one thing Mr. Daskell should point out: we do have some MLB news, so maybe Daskell should talk about that before we go.
Yeah, we do have a minute. There was a big trade from the Yankees today. Ryan McMahon was traded from the Colorado Rockies to the Yankees. I think that's a big move considering all the errors we have been seeing from the Yankees in their field. Let's be honest, they've made a lot of mistakes with Anthony Volpe throwing to first base. So they got a big third baseman and a big hitter. That's a big addition for the Yankees. I'm keen. I'm still waiting to see if the Jays make a move. We may have to go live if something crazy happens.
But Lane, my question for you then before we go, this move the Yankees made, is this more to bolster their defense in the infield, or is this more to bolster the offense? Because I don't really think the offense is an issue.
I'd say a little bit of both, right? He's a key hitter.
I'd say both too.
Oh, he's a very good. At the end of the day, Ryan McMahon's a very good hitter. I was hoping the Jays would get him for the longest time. This is a guy who's been. I don't know how you would compare it to NHL, but this is like a guy who's really skilled, just playing on a really bad team.
Yeah.
Not not Connor Bedard, but he's definitely an all-star playing on a team that just can't do anything around him. Now he's going to actually have a team behind him that he can actually be put in a good position, and his fielding is immaculate.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's this one less big fist of the Jays to get this trade deadline.
Unpopular opinion, the Jays shouldn't do much.
Maybe Jacob's right. Maybe with the injuries coming
the team
back.
is playing so well, and you have so many injuries coming back. It's basically like getting a bolstered lineup. Like, look, they're up 6-2 right now in the 7th against Detroit. They're currently one of the best teams in baseball, and
they are.
I don't know how much you muck with the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
And honestly, I said that they had to win at least 2 out of 4 in this series and beat the Yankees in the last series for me to start to feel confident in this team. Well, as long as they don't blow a 4-run lead in 2.5 innings.
I don't think this game's going to be going on past the way this game is going. It's raining really hard.
Now, mind you, we predicted this with Winnipeg and NHL trade deadline. Best team in the league. They didn't do much. They didn't have to do much, and that didn't work out.
Just different though, because I feel the Jets still made the right decisions. Just the team underperformed. I don't think if you went out and got a top 6 forward, it would have fixed Connor Hellebuck just not playing well.
I still think they need maybe a an extra pitcher on hand, maybe
So
a
that's what I'm saying,
reliever.
maybe some tweaks, but I don't
I would
see
like
the
another hitter
Jays
too.
making
Yeah,
a
I
big
know, man.
blockbuster trade. I really don't. You even
So
look
we'll
tonight
see
so
who's right.
far.
I think they're going to go for it and make a big splash. Jacob thinks they're not going to do much. What do you think, Lane?
I think they're going to make a splash, like you said. They haven't
So
won a
we'll see
playoff
who's
game
right.
in 10 years.
Exactly.
Okay, but when is it at the point you just say to the guys on the team, it's on you?
Yeah.
And what do you do if you bring in someone, you take Badger out of the lineup? Now that guy sucks. And
Well, I would get Badger out.
Okay, but Dan, who are you taking out to bring someone in?
They need a fielder. Honestly, Jacob, they need a fielder.
No, they don't. Dalton Varshall's coming back. Lucas has been playing at a high level. I don't know what Straw's been playing really well. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I would take
You
Straw
guys
out.
are saying they need it, but I look at the roster and I don't know who I want. I already don't know where Jimenez is going to go because the infield's been playing so well.
True.
Okay, yeah, maybe get an outfield, but even right now, because when Varshall comes back, right, then you're probably, I would say if it was me, I would be moving George Springer to DH and who's at center field and then put Varshall over in the outfield to replace Springer's spot and have Springer not be working on that. And I know the game's about to start. I tried to wrap up the show, and Dan and Moorfor were like, let's talk about Blue Jays.
Dan and
Like,
Moorfor.
baseball. But no, honestly, like, we will go in a second here because the game is about to get underway. But I do feel the Jays should make minimal moves, if any. I actually think so many times the team makes a big move at deadline. Look at Nick Foligno on the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oz is the bad.
I'm going to bring that up. Nick Mother Truckin' Foligno, who made the team worse.
Trade a first-round draft pick with a fourth-line player at best.
And they tried to put him on the first line, and the first line underperformed for the rest of the season and the playoffs, trying to make it work.
Yeah.
Big guy, remember, you're getting all these guys coming back. This is definitely another show topic in general. We could probably argue about this for half an hour, but
Well, it's July 31st, as Lane pointed out, right? So we're about a week away. I guess that's Thursday. I guess we'll do a special episode on Thursday.
Yeah.
Trade deadline.
frick you say to me?
I guess we're doing a live episode on Thursday for a special MLB trade deadline. Let's go.
Okay, maybe we will, but we need to
Go
bounce. Because for now,
Bounce.
we got to get into this big game here between the Elks and Riders. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching and commenting. More than likely, we will be back for a post-game show.
I just never leave StreamYard, so I'll be here. Don't worry.
We don't believe in sleeping here in Ontario, so we're fine. We'll see you guys around midnight.
I can sleep on the air.
He usually
Right.
does.